That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast, the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin. This week is episode 49, Over the Edge, May of 1999. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. JV, what's going on this week?
What's going on this week? Well, tomorrow we have one of the most exciting days we've had in a while in the wrestling world, period, in general, with an AEW and NXT, debut of AEW, and then NXT airing as well. So we have some actual competition. We're going to flip channels like it's the 90s.
It's the Wednesday Night Wars.
Promotions. Yeah.
I'm excited to flip back between USA and TNT once again.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. That last one's getting a lot of use on the remote.
There's actually a show we're recording on Tuesday, and there's a show on right now, All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. The lead up to Dynamite or whatever the fuck is just like a recap of what's going on. And this is, kind of hyped up a little bit. Not because I'm not loyal to WWE, WWF, but it's nice to see true competition on network television where people that are not wrestling fans might stumble into it and might watch wrestling.
Brand loyalty, you shouldn't have brand loyalty in anything. They should have loyalty to you. So they got to keep putting out stuff for you to be loyal.
Well, they put out the WWE Network. They give me the stuff that I want on there.
Yeah.
We can't do the show without the WWE Network.
Yeah, well, you can. They're not going anywhere.
No, yeah. But anyway, that's a big thing going on. So huge. But yeah, the show.
Then we got SmackDown on Fox.
Yeah, and then SmackDown's on Fox this Friday.
With The Rock.
Yep, The Rock returns to give a fucking 5-minute promo.
See, just that alone, AEW's, starts to come around to their debut time, and the WWE needs to bring out all their heavyweights. You had fucking Flair and Hogan last night. You're going to get fucking Stone Cold's been around now. Yeah. You got The Rock on Friday SmackDown. Like,
it's funny, though, that WWE has to go back to the well and bring everybody else back.
It's pretty depressing.
They have to go back to the Attitude Era when they were competing to compete again.
Like, at what point does John Cena come back? That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time to be a wrestling fan again.
Definitely.
It's nice to have some competition.
Absolutely. It's going to make the whole wrestling world a lot better. But as you guys know that listen to this show and new listeners on this first episode that you may be listening to, it's not all about the current. It's about the past. It's about Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's about the Attitude Era. And that's what we're going to be covering today. And it's a tough one, actually, today, because we're covering one of the most controversial, one of the most depressing pay-per-views in history. And that's the Over the Edge pay-per-view from May of 1999.
Mm-hmm.
This is, like I said, it's episode 49, and we've gone a long way through Stone Cold's career. Well, here we are at a major turning point in the career, and it happens on an unfortunate night for Owen Hart, as we know. And we'll get to more on Owen Hart as we get through this podcast, but we want to focus on Stone Cold Steve Austin because that's what this podcast is all about. But we don't want to neglect Owen Hart because, as we all know, he's such a great wrestler and such an important
part. Human being in general,
right?
All that stuff.
Right. So we will pay tribute to him at some point in this episode.
Yes.
But let's get back to our main man here, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Last week, we covered the corporate ministry on our episode 48, which was covering the first half of May of 1999. And basically what you had there was the corporate ministry formed. It was the ministry and the corporation joining together, the corporate merger, and Shane McMahon was behind all that. And that led to the creation of a separate faction, the Union, which was the outcast of the ministry, which is Mankind, Test, Ken Shamrock, and who the hell am I missing out there? Test, Ken Shamrock, a Big Show. Of course, Big Show.
Big Show, yeah, with his denim shorts.
Right.
He was doing it before Cena did it.
He did. And he wore like athletic jerseys before Cena was doing it too.
Yeah, Cena just ripped off the Big Show.
So
you heard it here first on the Bottom Line Cast.
Yeah. So that's what happened on the previous episode, and it led to the pay-per-view that we covered. The final match of the UK pay-per-view was No Mercy, and it was a pretty shitty match between Triple H, Undertaker, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what we covered last week. And this week we're going to move forward, heading to the next pay-per-view, the next U.S. pay-per-view, which was Over the Edge, as we just mentioned. And that's only a week later, so there's not a whole lot of coverage in terms of shows. But we want to limit it to this, because in the next couple of weeks we got another storyline building up. So we didn't want to jump into that just yet. So we're going to just break down all this leading up to Over the Edge and cover Over the Edge. All right, so let's get into it, starting with Raw 312 from May 17th, 1999. This is taped. It's taped from May 11th, 1999 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it starts with a Shane McMahon promo. And Shane's basically just going to say, the Union, you're not the number one target. Vince McMahon is the number one target. And tonight, McMahon, you're going to feel the pain. So Shane McMahon is kind of setting the tone that he is going after his father now. His father is not the strong man that he thought he was. He made it at that point last episode when we talked about it that you're not anybody anymore. You're not Vince. You're just Vince to me. You're not my dad. You're just Vince. So Shane is the boss now.
Shane's on the hunt. He's the boss, and he's on the hunt for his father.
Right. Exactly. So this leads to a segment just moments later where Vince is going to be attacked. So Vince and Patterson and Briscoe they're blocking the door because now they're being attacked by the ministry, the corporate ministry. I always fuck that up. I always say the ministry, but
there's a difference.
There is a difference, but it's like it's the same fucking guys, but yeah. Now it's just Shane McMahon with them.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. It's like the new corporation,
right?
Because the old guard, the McMahon, the Briscoes, and the Pattersons aren't involved here. Sergeant Slaughter.
It's mostly the ministry. It's just Shane McMahon and Triple H in China.
Yeah,
that jumped in.
Well, the posse, no?
Well, posse's gone now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They got kicked out because they lost. So they got booted.
Yeah.
So Shane's in the back now. He's searching for Vince. And he's, I'm coming for you, Dad. It's like what we've talked about week after week is that it's just like a horror movie. They're just horror movie type script. Shane McMahon, I'm coming for you, Dad. And then, we're going to block the door. We're going to block the door.
Yeah. It is a 90s horror movie.
Yeah, exactly.
They're basically ripping off all of them.
So Shane's banging on the door, and he's like, hey, Viscera, come on, kick down the door. And then Patterson and Briscoe begging him not to do it. Vince opens the closet door, and he opens the closet door because he's thinking that there might be weapons in there. Oh, we gotta check for weapons. We gotta check for weapons in the closet. So they open the closet. Then who the fuck pops out? It's the Undertaker. The Undertaker's in the closet the whole time.
Which is ridiculous. They didn't hear him in there.
Right.
Like, come on.
And not only is it The Undertaker, it's Triple H and China.
China, yeah. So you got like
Three
three of the
fucking
biggest
massive
people on the roster
people
in a closet.
in a closet. And,
You expect me to believe that shit writing?
yeah. And Vince was just happened to be in that room, and they knew the room that Vince was going to be in, and they got in there. And it just made me think of Scream.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because in the first Scream movie, Sydney goes into her house. Not the opening, but after the murder and after she goes to school, she goes home after school and she sits down, she takes a nap. And the fucking killer's been in the closet for like 4 hours. Like, what the fuck?
Jesus and shit.
Like,
It's got water.
yeah, he's got water. He jerked off a couple times, probably. Who fuck knows what he did? But
Yeah.
he's been in the closet for hours, just waiting. All right, let me wait for this opportunity to strike on Sydney. And here you got the same thing. You got fucking Undertaker, China, and Triple H. Oh, let's hide in Vince's office for as long as we need to, so we can strike against him once he opens the
'cause that's
closet.
the thing. That's his office. And so it's like
Right.
no one swept the office before they went in there. No one checked the rooms. He knows his fucking son's looking for him.
Or he wouldn't check that closet before. So many
Yeah.
different things.
It's stupid.
Oh,
that might be my hell no now. Now that we've really dissected the shit out of that.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
it's true.
So I was thinking when I was watching this, I was like, Vince Russo must have loved like these late '90s horror movies because those were super popular by '99. Because you had
Yeah.
Scream, you had a few Screams at that point. By '99, you had Scream 1, you had Scream 2, you had I Know What You Did Last Summer, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend. You had a shit ton of those type of horror movies. So Vince Russo was totally a mark for those movies, and he was using that in his Undertaker storylines. I guarantee it. Any Vince Russo fans out there that already know that shit, confirm it. Or say, fuck off, you don't know what you're talking about. But hey, that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Alright, so Vince gets dragged out of the closet by the Undertaker. The lights go out, and we don't know what's happening. And the camera's shut off just randomly. It's like, okay, now we're going to commercial break. So we get back from commercial break, and Vince ends up being taken away on a stretcher, so he got his ass kicked, apparently. And he's heading to the medical facility, as Vince likes it to be called.
Yeah, because we had this discussion. It felt like not too long ago about how it's not the hospital.
Yeah, no hospital, medical facility. I don't see what the argument is. Medical facility still feels like you need medical aid. So is his thought is like hospital is negative connotation? Oh, we're going to a hospital. That's bad. That's where people die. But a medical facility, they're just getting a Band-Aid. What's his thinking there? Who the fuck knows? But anyway, we got Austin coming up here. And Austin's got some shit to say. And JV, this is our only promo, right?
Yeah, this is our only audio. I mean, obviously we have a surprise. Fucking surprise, like something to celebrate.
Oh, no, not a surprise.
But
But we got our
we have,
tribute
like,
at the end to Owen Hart.
which will be added audio. Like, hey, surprise! Terrible joke.
No, not a joke. But yeah, we got a tribute to Owen Hart after this. But this is our one audio clip because, like I said, we're only covering a week. And it's a good week, but it's not a whole lot of audio from Austin because if we look back at probably past few episodes, Austin doesn't do a whole lot of shit. Like audio-wise. He doesn't get on the mic much. He doesn't show up to shows. He didn't show up to his matches on time. A lot of the time.
Yeah, I think he's like, maybe they're giving him a break.
Yeah, he must be getting some kind of break.
I mean, and plus, they just had the UK travel and everything, so
Yeah, so he's probably like, fuck that shit.
I don't know.
I'm not doing that.
you don't want to burn the guy out.
No, especially if he's still considered to be a top star.
Which I don't know how anyone would argue he's
No.
not. Austin's not a top star anymore, really? Come on. Triple H ain't ready yet, which we discussed.
Right.
We didn't feel he was, at that point yet here.
But I think he is going to help Triple H out a little bit in this promo to get him on that next level.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Because, and I'll probably say that after this, but I'll say it now. Austin wants Triple H to be on the next level, so he has another person to go toe-to-toe with.
So The Rock, because The Rock will get stale.
Right.
The Taker is already stale at this point.
Yeah, totally. So he wants Triple H to rise up so he can have another fucking enemy. All right, but let's take a listen to Austin. He's going to come out and share his views on Shane McMahon and Triple H and the whole corporate ministry. So take a listen.
What a week for the rattlesnake. Can he handle it? We'll find out starting tonight.
Last night on Heat, Shane McMahon said he had a vision when he made the match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. Triple H, as far as you're concerned, you've always had every ounce of ability it takes to get to the top of the World Wrestling Federation. And finally, someone has pissed you off enough to get your ass to the top. But I will say this, Shane McMahon's vision of this match is just a little bit different than mine. My vision of this match is you coming down here and me putting this foot in your ass.
Man, a rattlesnake is intense tonight.
And as far as China goes, seeing as that Stone Cold Steve Austin is an equal opportunity ass kicker, China, if you stick your nose in this match, you will receive the bonus plan because this foot will go where? In your ass.
Bonus plan. And I'll tell you, folks, the rattlesnake means it.
That being said, going in over the edge, two referees, Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon, it really don't make a rat's ass to Stone Cold Steve Austin who the damn referee is. Undertaker, you come out here, throw me off the damn stage and try to cripple me. I'll tell you what, you son of a bitch. You roll your ass. You roll your ass into over the edge. And you talk about making the ultimate sacrifice out of Stone Cold Steve Austin. That just ain't gonna happen. You will know that Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass, and that's all I got to say about that. Over the edge, Stone Cold Steve Austin will beat the Undertaker's ass, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
And that's going to be on pay-per-view this Sunday. Wait a minute. Austin and the Undertaker. Oh, man. What is this now? Oh, what does it look like? Shane McMahon, the boy wonder, who has already sent his own daddy to the hospital, has got a lot of backup here, and evil in his heart.
All right, so at 38 minutes and 17 seconds on that episode, Austin heads out looking like the man. He's wearing a Smoking Skull belt. He's the fucking champ at this point. And he runs out there right away and says, last night Shane McMahon said he had a vision when he made the match between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. And that happened on the Heat that we talked about on the last episode. That was our last segment for the Austin part of the show where that match was made. So Austin's like, I'm not really cool about that. But what I'm going to say about Triple H is you've always had every ounce of ability to get to the top. Finally, somebody has pissed you off enough to get you to the top. And immediately I thought, that's him putting him over. Like, all right, you've been a fucking solid wrestler, but now you're getting pushed to the top because somebody pushed you there.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one guy in WWE you'd want to rub from at this point, it's
right. You want Stone Cold to push you to that, but he's using The Rock as being like, oh, The Rock pissed you off so much that now you care. And now you're pushing yourself to be a top star. So he's saying, all right, you are now a top star because you were pushed to be a top star. And not only because The Rock, who's underneath me, push you to get there, but I'm giving you fucking the approval. You are a top guy now. So that's cool. And like I said just moments ago, he wants more heels to work with to be on top as a babyface. Because after, like you said, JV, Undertaker stale. The Rock's going to get stale. He's already had a whole feud as an Intercontinental Champion. They've had World Championship matches. Rock's a babyface now. He needs Triple H. So, that's the bottom line. So, Austin says his idea of a casket match, because they had a casket match just last week. And he says, instead of a casket match, you should probably just stick your foot up your ass. So he's talking some kind of nonsense there, but he's just basically saying, I'll kick my foot up everybody's ass. I'll kick my foot up China's ass. I'll kick my foot up Triple H's ass. So he's going on his little rhetoric.
He's an equal opportunity ass
Yeah,
kicker.
exactly.
Such a great line.
That is a great line. Now we're gonna get the call that it's gonna be, Shane McMahon's the special ref. Vince McMahon's gonna be the special ref, and my thoughts initially were, what the fuck up? What's up with these special refs? Just special ref. Every time we have a major pay-per-view main event, we gotta have a special ref. It's been years.
Yeah, it's overkill. I mean, when did it really start? I mean, that would be, Tyson is when it kind of took off? Well, he wasn't even a ref. He was
an enforcer. But still, that's what they promote him as.
Yeah.
And then they said, all right, he can't actually do that.
Now we're always getting, Shane McMahon, or we're getting Mankind, or we're getting HBK.
Get Vince McMahon.
Yeah. These fucking wrestlers, taking all the ref
right,
jobs.
It's like, if you can't wrestle, then fuck off.
The ref should have been in that union with Mankind.
Yeah, Earl Hebner should be in the union. I want my job back. Although he's the only one that gets to keep his damn job. Because usually a special ref will get knocked out, and then Earl Hebner comes in and is like, I'm the ref now. Because I'm the senior referee.
I'm the man.
I drink beers with Stone Cold.
Can't talk to me like that.
All right, so Austin, he's a little pissed off about being tossed off the stage by The Undertaker. That was a big bump that we talked about last week, was that Austin actually took a bump off the stage on Raw. And he says, yeah, I'm not happy about that. And then Austin calls out The Undertaker, says, you talk about making the ultimate sacrifice on Stone Cold Steve Austin. That ain't going to happen. And you well know that Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass, and that's all I need to say about that. So I love how he ends that. He brings it back to the whole 316. He says, yeah, you're the dead man, and you think you're going to have an ultimate sacrifice on me. But Austin 316 says, I'm going to whoop your ass. So he's kind of liking that religious connotation that The Undertaker's saying. Like, you're the sacrifice, and like, nah, I'm not a sacrifice. I'm going to whoop your ass because I'm Austin 316.
Take your voodoo and get out of here, Charles.
Exactly.
What you doing?
So we're going to get... This is Actually, this is after the audio, so you didn't hear this, but after the audio, it was the corporate ministry came down. Shane comes down with Taker, Triple H. He comes down with most of the other ministry. And Shane's going to take the mic, and Shane's going to remind Austin that if he lays a finger on him, Austin's going to lose the WWF Championship, which is a common theme that's been going on, with even going back to Vince McMahon. If you lay a finger on me, you lose the title. So
yeah,
Shane uses that same thing, tells Austin, you can't touch me. Shane tells Austin that he can have a hospital bed next to Vince tonight. And Shane then sends down to the corporate ministry. And Shamrock's going to come save the day at that point here, right after. And he puts a chokehold on Shane McMahon. And as JR calls him, he's the boy wonder. The boy wonder. Shamrock's got the boy wonder.
He must have really liked the Batman like live action with Adam
He
West
must
and
have.
shit, right?
Bam, pow.
He must have loved that show. Yeah. Knows the dance and shit.
Oh, the Batman
Totally
dance
doing the
with the
Batman
eyes,
dance. Yeah.
like from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so the union and the corporate ministry and the brawling, which is what they do for the next couple of weeks, basically. It's just nonstop brawls between the union and the corporate ministry. Even though I don't know how it continues to be a brawl, because the corporate ministry is like 12 people deep, and the union is like 4 people. So how is it even a fight? But anyway, they keep fighting in the backstage.
And the corporate industry has huge. Everyone's a fucking heavyweight.
Yeah, the Giants.
Like legit
Everyone's like
heavyweight.
6'3" and over, and
That might be
over
one of the
250.
most physically imposing like factions of all time. You got fucking JBL, and you got Farouk,
Viscera,
you got fucking
Midian.
Viscera, Test even. Midian.
Well, Test is gone now because he's in the union.
Oh yeah, Test is gone. China.
Yeah, China's bigger than fucking Test.
Yeah. Midian with his stupid fucking Hellraiser headband thing. Looks like an idiot.
But you're right. That's a fucking giant
Not Midian. Viscera.
Viscera. Yeah. Oh yeah. He looks like he's in an electric chair with that thing on.
Yeah.
I just listened to a promo from 1995. Came up on Twitter. It was King Mabel. He had just won the King of the Ring in 1995, and he's with his sire, Mo, who used to be his tag team partner in Men on a Mission. And
Yeah, I remember Mo.
he got a fucking great promo. He sounded like a badass motherfucker. And I was like, wow, shit, I didn't realize it at the time. But he sounded like a fucking tough-ass dude as the King. Mabel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was young.
He was. Too. And then it didn't let him talk forever. Ever again, he never talked. But
I wonder why. He had like a deep voice. It was all menacing and shit.
Pretty damn badass. So I would say, don't sleep on Mabel. Go back to 1995, and you might find some good Mabel shit. They pushed him real hard, so they saw something in him back in 1995. It's just that there wasn't a whole lot going on in WWF in 1995 either. That was a shitty ass time.
No, I was trying to find it. I can't. I mean, I'm sure if I search harder, I'll see it on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what promo it was. It was just like after King of the Ring. Not during King of the Ring, but on Superstars or something. Alright, so anyway, that concludes that part of the promo. That was during 41 to 42 minutes on that episode. And then immediately after, Austin's going to come out. And Austin's going to taunt The Undertaker. And Austin's going to get a hold of Paul Bearer, which is fucking awesome. And he's going to stun Paul Bearer. And Paul Bearer takes a fucking sweet stunner. And The Undertaker doesn't give a shit. The Undertaker just backs up off the stage. He cares less. And I understand why he cares less. Because Paul Bearer put him through so much shit. It's like, right now, Paul Bearer, I'm using you.
Yep, this is karma right now.
It's karma. You
all the shit he put him through with his fucking brother.
Right,
his
you
own
conspired
brother.
against me. You were fucking my mother the whole time. You had Kane. Like,
yeah, he was fucking his mom.
So like, you can get stunned. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, he was. Yeah, he was graphic about it too, wasn't he? Yeah, I remember we covered that.
So, put it in perspective. Undertaker should not give a shit about Paul Bearer being stunned. So if anybody's out there like, oh, how come he didn't come save Paul Bearer? Well, fuck Paul Bearer at this point. He's just using him.
Yes, seriously.
So, he does that to Paul Bearer. Austin does that to Paul Bearer. He then pegs off The Undertaker. They stare each other down. Taker walks off. He's like, all right, I'm out of here. And Austin drops another elbow on Paul Bearer. Cracks the beer open. Sucks it down. He drops a beer on Paul Bearer. And that closes out the first hour of that episode of Raw. And that totally felt like the end of a Raw. Like, that could have been done. That's how Raw should be. One fucking hour. great ending like that. Boom.
Yeah, really.
See you next week.
2 hours.
2 hours is good, but
man, 3 hours is fucking brutal.
Today 3 hours is brutal.
What's not to get back in a current, but just curious, real quick, what's AEW?
2 hours. 2 hours on NXT. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, back to WWE.
All right, so now we're gonna get into something a little different, but I think it connects to what we're talking about basically with the Austin feud. We have these other angles going on, and he's in this angle with Undertaker. So Undertaker's gonna have a match with The Rock. So I figured it's something we should talk about. This match is a casket match. It's I think it's only the second casket match that's ever taken place on Raw. It's gonna happen at 44 minutes and 57 seconds, and it's not gonna go very long. It's only gonna go about 8 minutes or so, and 8 minutes meaning like with entrances included and all that. So not very long at all. So let's get into it here. We got The Rock comes out, super over, big star. Dan Marino's in the crowd. The crowd's giving Dan Marino standing ovation, and The Rock is standing ovation.
Yeah.
We got Miami guys.
One of them's a champion. The one isn't. The other one hasn't been.
Great point. Fuck Dan Marino. Fuck the Dolphins.
Yeah. Fuck the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Fuck Dan Marino.
Don't act like you were good.
Great quarterback. Great quarterback, but you're not on Tom Brady's level.
Well, that's fucking dust in the wind at this point.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it because I'm sure there's a lot of Patriot haters listening. But Tom Brady is the greatest athlete of all time.
Right.
Athlete. Mark, write it down.
And for any listeners, we don't want to offend you, but we do want to point out to you, we're not Johnny-come-latelys. We were here before Tom Brady. We went through a lot of shitty years.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
With the Patriots.
Well, in my defense, I was fortunate enough that we drafted. I was like 7 or 8 years old when that's when you really, I think, start getting into sports. That's when the fucking Patriots drafted Drew Bledsoe, and they were a totally different team,
different coach,
as far as my
system
life is concerned. Yeah, got to the Super Bowl with Bledsoe. All right, we can't get into this. We need to stick on wrestling. Some people probably like this guy's done talking about this guy's done jerking off to the New England Patriots.
We'll talk more about them when they win the Super Bowl in February. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so The Rock's going to unload on Taker with a bunch of left and rights. He's going to whip the Undertaker into the corner, and it's going to give a big boot. Undertaker charges, but is dropped by a clothesline. JR's got to mention that The Rock is a multiple-time champ, and he's only turned 27 years old, which is crazy. Multiple-time champ, 27 years old.
Yeah, it is.
And then he says he could be the future of the WWF. What the fuck? He already is. He is the future. You know that.
Yeah, where's the doubt?
Right.
Where's the doubt?
Come on. Now? So he's already been targeted as the man going forward. And that's good to bring up because Austin is worried about that. He's got to be worried. Like, they're setting their sights on this guy. So what am I going to do to maintain my spot?
Yeah, he wants to stay the alpha.
I got to stay the alpha. And we're going to get to it down the road. And I know some of our listeners might not like that we bring things up ahead of time, but Austin becomes a heel because of The Rock being a superstar. So he needs to. I feel like he would need to jump to the other side if he wants to maintain some kind of appeal on the top level.
Well, that's his only other move. Your only move is to turn heel.
Because you can't just stay babyface with another huge babyface.
Yeah, and sometimes you go heel, you're bigger than ever.
All right, so we go into this match. You got Undertaker mounting a comeback, and he's going to unload on The Rock. The Rock body slams the Undertaker. Rock sets up for the elbow. Rock nails the elbow. He tries to roll Undertaker into the casket, but now Triple H comes out. And Earl Hebner fucking gets involved. Because he's trying to...
Your boy. You love when he gets involved.
Fucking annoys me. So Earl Hebner comes out. He's trying to open the casket. Triple H shuts the casket on him. So I like that. It's like, all right, Shut the fuck up, Earl Hebner. Get out of here. And The Rock and Triple H are, they're all at each other at that point. China and Shane are going to head to the ring at 50 minutes. Undertaker grabs The Rock, and The Rock hits him with his cast. So he has this cast on because he got thrown off the set last week. So now he has this cast, and he gets whacked with it. So this is a major point during this match, is that he has this cast on. And Rock's going to clothesline Undertaker to the floor. Triple H attacks The Rock on the floor. Rock fights back. Taker waits and lands a nut shot on The Rock. And I do want to point out to our great friends at the Talking Taker podcast that they have a name for this, because I had listened to their episodes covering this, and they bring it up ever since, is that a nut shot from The Undertaker is called the Death Valley shot.
That's
and
cool.
And I'm pretty sure it originated from JR saying it. JR Law said it. The Death Valley shot. So they continue to use it from that point on.
No, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It was one of those guys.
All right, so now this is a big moment in WWF history, WWF lore, is that you now have Triple H come out and he has a sledgehammer. So he has this sledgehammer for the very first time, and he sets up The Rock's arm on the steel steps at 51 minutes, and he's going to start to nail him down with that fucking sledgehammer. So
And if this was a comic book, this would be like first appearance of Triple H with a sledgehammer.
And you could also argue it's the first appearance of Triple H, like real Triple H, like the modern Triple H with his the game with his powers, like that's his power. He has a sledgehammer, Yeah,
that's his thing. That's him. That's him.
So he has this sledgehammer now, and Undertaker's gonna smash The Rock's arm into the casket. Taker tosses Rock into the ring. Triple H kicks Rock into the casket. Taker then closes it. He's going to push away Hebner, because fuck that guy. And then Shane McMahon is still there. He's proceeding to hold down the casket. And then they lock it. Now, I have my own personal opinion about casket matches. And we know that...
I like your theory.
Okay.
Preach for it.
The opinion on casket matches is when somebody loses, they need to go away. They can't be back on TV the next week. And that's the case here. So The Rock gets put in the casket. He gets his ass brutally beaten. So basically, Triple H comes out there. He fucking smashes the casket with the sledgehammer. And then the very next weekend, The Rock is in a match. And I guess I have that opinion. And JV, I think you would agree with me because you were there. You went to the 1994 Royal Rumble where The Undertaker was put in the casket and he was gone for what seemed like a lifetime for us. He was gone until August.
Yeah, it did feel
From
like
January to August, he was gone. It's like, when's The Undertaker come back? When's The Undertaker come back? And he didn't come back until then. And even then, it was a fake Undertaker that they brought back first. They didn't even bring back the real one. They tricked us with a fake one. And just to lead up to, the real one's coming back. But this was The Rock gets put in the casket, and all right, he's back next week. He's got a match on pay-per-view. Like, if you're going to have a casket match and someone's going in there, they got to be gone for a little while. That's my view. So you agree, JV, on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just better. It makes for better storytelling, too. It's a casket match. You're putting the dude in a casket. He's going away. It's significant of death.
That's the whole story.
So, the guy shouldn't just show up on Monday.
He's back. Oh, I got to get back from my match. Not only that, but he got fucking smashed in with the sledgehammer. So how do you tell that story? He has no bruises or nothing, which we'll get to because we're going to cover that match in a little while. Jeez. All right, so that's what happened there. And The Rock gets sent into the medical center. He goes off, and the corporate ministry is planning an attack on Austin backstage right after that, which is fucking corny too, because Austin's about to have an interview with Michael Cole, and they show like Michael Cole setting up for his interview with Austin, and the corporate ministry are like creeping behind, like, hey, when he comes out, we're gonna attack him. Right.
Whispering, but not
like,
really
we got a
whispering.
cameraman right here on the side of us, and there's a cameraman over there. But yeah, we're being really sneaky. It's like, come on now. So then that leads to the interview with Austin, and I wanted to get more audio, but this is nothing. This is 30 seconds of bullshit.
No.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's not terrible.
Right. It's just nothing worth playing.
There's really nothing.
So Michael Cole tells Austin that he's leaving in an ambulance. They said he's going to leave on an ambulance, and Austin says, "Yeah, there's no way I'm leaving in an ambulance." And then immediately, the Union shows up. The Union shows up, and they attack the corporate ministry. And my only logical thought, I actually put thought into this stupid segment, and thought, well, maybe the Union was trying to save Austin from getting beat up because they heard the attack. They heard that, all right, we're going to attack Austin during this. So the Union is like, all right, we're going to save Austin then. So let's go do it. Let's go save him. So, hey, that may have been what happened, but the commentary didn't put that over. So I'm telling you, that's the way it should have been. The Union was saving Austin there. But yeah, no real audio there, so let's move on. That brings us to the main event of this Raw, and that's a non-title match. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H. And Triple H is going to be with Shane and Chyna. And this match is going to kick off at 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 4 seconds. And go to 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 14 seconds. So it starts off with Triple H climbing out of the ring, and he goes after Austin immediately. So Triple H makes his entrance first. And this is a pretty typical start for an Austin match. That Austin's going to come out, and they're going to meet in the middle of the aisleway and start going at it. So immediately that makes me think, I don't like this. Because I've seen this so many times. We've basically seen this last week at No Mercy, in the UK pay-per-view. Is that we start in the aisle, we fight to the entrance, fight to the set. So that's basically what happens. Triple H punches them to the ramp. They body slam each other onto it. Austin leads them back to the ring and runs his head into the steps. Austin decks him and keeps after with some more hard rights and then knocks him over the barrier. Austin climbs over and hits him some more before jumping him over to the barrier. So back and forth. So barely any fighting into the crowd, just right back over. So Austin's going to roll him back into the ring, and the bell finally sounds, and the match kicks off at 1 hour, 18 minutes. Now,
it's crazy. 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, just outside of the ring bullshit. But
yeah,
the good thing about it though is that on this Raw they did all their commercial breaks right before this match started, so this could be played out as one match, no breaks. So it's almost like a pay-per-view match, and that actually lasts pretty long for a Raw match. Usually you get like 7 to 8 minutes for the main event. This one's a little longer. Well, back in the ring now, you got Triple H gets a kick in, but is nearly stunned right from the start. But he rolls out. He's aware. He rolls out, and he ends up getting clotheslined back into the ring. Austin has the leg, has Triple H's leg, and he works it over, and he's bringing him back into the ring. And we get a lot of that action. Yeah, there's a lot
outside the ring. The MVP of this match is the announce table.
Yes. All right.
They go to the announce table often.
They do. They have a lot of outside of the ring action, and they go to the announce table. You get the typical moves in between that. You get the Luthez press.
The main announce table.
Yeah, they don't
too.
go to the Spanish.
They just like dump on
All
the Spanish announce table.
So right before that announce table spot that you're bringing up, there is a spot where this has been practiced. I've seen it a few times. We talked about it last week. It was on the UK pay-per-view of No Mercy. It's Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner's taking the chair from Triple H. So Triple H is like setting up to hit Austin with the chair. He has it behind his head. And then Earl Hebner always jumps in and grabs it. He's done that like 3 times. So he does it here again. He takes it. And my thought initially was, man, I wish Triple H would knock this fucker out. Just knock Earl Hebner right the hell out after you took that chair from him. So we get to these announce table spots. And it's cool. It's good. Fighting back and forth. I think it's like we said earlier, it's making Triple H look like a top guy. He's getting something over with Austin. He's beating him down a little bit. It's back and forth. It's pretty good. It's definitely better than what we watched last week with No Mercy. I have to say that from the start.
Yep. I didn't
no,
get
this
bored
one
with
was
this
pretty
one.
damn good. So after we get through those table spots, Austin's going to counter with a sleeper. A fucking sleeper hold. But hey, sometimes you got to slow things down. So Austin counters with a sleeper. Triple H is going to counter right back with a belly-to-back suplex. And then China gets involved, which I always hate. You know, with two guys like this, you're trying to get a new star made, Triple H, and you're going to have China doing what she's done for the past couple of years, interfere in a Triple H match. He needs to get to the point where, I don't need you anymore. China, you're out. So it's not helping that she's getting involved in this match. So China chokes Austin on the bottom rope, and the ref is distracted, of course. Of course, Hebner is distracted. Triple H gets a 2, and then follows right back up with a clothesline, and then gets another 2 count. Then he keeps him on the ground with the chin lock. Austin's going to rise up, get a second win. He lands a few punches, goes for a clothesline, but then they double clothesline each other, and they're both down. That's at 1 hour and 26 minutes. It's going to be a little lull there for a moment, and then Austin's going to fire back, and he's whipped into the corner. Austin clotheslines him. But Triple H will not stay down. So Austin has had enough, and he tosses him over the top rope. So they have a little struggle there, and Austin's like, fuck this, I'm throwing you over the top rope. And then he tosses him onto the announce table again. So, like you said, JV, back and forth on the announce table. And they haven't broken the fucking thing yet. So it's like, they go to the announce table, and they don't do anything, really. They just, like, slam each other's head into it. So Triple H gets his head run into the announce table a couple times. Then he gets shoved off of it. Austin's going to suplex Triple H into the ring from the apron, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that was impressive.
So that was
he's a big dude. Like, so Austin never gets enough credit
cool
for his
spot,
strength.
and that's at 1 hour and 28 minutes. And that's the last good spot of the match, because we have a good match going here. But, yeah, then it's going to become
so
typical
weird.
Raw. And the Undertaker symbol is going to lower down to the ring from the ceiling. Austin looks at it. He basically says, fuck it. He clotheslines Triple H. Triple H is going to counter with a high knee lift, which I think he has a great high knee lift.
Great.
Yep.
That thing looks so mint
That's
when he
probably
does it.
one of my favorite
So
moves
crisp.
from him. Austin nails Triple H with the clothesline, and then he stares at the symbol. And then finally, the Undertaker music hits, and Jerry Lawler's like, what's happening here? It's like, what do you mean, what's happening here? Same thing that's happened for weeks that's happening here. Symbol's being lowered. He's going to sacrifice somebody.
You have a better seat than anyone in the fucking building. That's not, besides one of the wrestlers. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You don't see that.
So Triple H hits him a couple times. The Undertaker comes out. Austin whacks Taker off the apron. Triple H tosses Austin off onto the floor. And Undertaker's going to attack Austin. And Triple H and Shane lower the symbol down now that they're in the ring. Austin gets whipped into the steel steps outside the ring. Then he gets stomped. And then Austin gets brought back into the ring. And then the rest of the corporate ministry comes out. The Union comes out now at this point. And you get the shit show of the corporate ministry and the Union fighting each other. And you have Undertaker trying to handcuff Austin. But we get a little switcheroo. We get Austin switching the handcuffs onto the Undertaker. And the Undertaker ends up handcuffed to the symbol, which I thought was a great little switch. Because, how often does Austin get fucked? So great for it to be the reversal in this situation, leading to the pay-per-view, leading to the main event match of The Undertaker versus Austin. Is that now you're going to get The Undertaker. Oh, you're attached now. But The Undertaker doesn't seem to give a shit. So when The Undertaker's attached to it, he rises up. They get Undertaker. Austin gets The Undertaker handcuffed on both sides, actually. So they begin to raise The Undertaker. And then he begins to laugh. And he's even, singing his song while he's being raised. You notice that, JV? All that? No? Oh, he was.
No, I didn't notice he was singing. No,
yeah, he was doing the laughing, of course, because that was on the big speakers. But he was mouthing. I don't know if he was actually saying it on the mic, but he was mouthing what his music said, like the fucking Charles Lee Ray chanting. He was repeating all that as it was mentioned in the song. So that was happening. I thought that was pretty cool to end the show this way, leading to the pay-per-view. The Undertaker had ultimately become the sacrifice, and he didn't really care because he knew he has a greater power before him. So even if you got me right now, it doesn't matter because there's a greater plan in place. We're still going to get your title, Austin. We still have a bigger plan that you don't know of. So you can screw me, but we're going to screw you this Sunday. So that's what we're leading into. JV, did you make a skull rating for this match? Even though
I did. I gave it... No, I did. I gave it... Because I seen you gave it a rating. I actually gave it 3 skulls.
3 skulls. All right. I gave it 2.5 skulls. And I only gave it 2... I was going to give it 3 skulls, but I only gave it 2.5 skulls because of the ending. I wanted a finish. But I guess... it makes sense that there's no finish because it's going to a pay-per-view match. So The Undertaker would have to be there. And there shouldn't really be a finish because why do you want to destroy Triple H who's on the rise? You can't have Stone Cold lose, obviously. So I guess this is the best thing to do. So yeah, it is a solid match. I'm not going to change my opinion, but...
No, I was also in a good mood when I was watching it, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, no, I've said that before too. Sometimes I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this match. I like it.
And other times like, this match fucking sucks. What's going on? Another fucking headlock.
All right, so that's going to lead us to Heat 43 from May 23rd, 1999, and this is the pre-show to Over the Edge. All right, so this Heat pre-show is going to start off live in Kansas City, Missouri. And it's going to start with a corporate ministry Shane McMahon promo, of course. And the ministry is going to come out to open the show. Shane McMahon's going to come out wearing his referee shirt, stomping out all badass like he's running the WWF because that's what he thinks he's doing at this point. And Shane's going to remind Austin, you can't lay a finger on me because if you do, I'm going to strip you of the title. I think it's always good for that to be brought up again. And they didn't really touch on that for the weeks before, but now it's been this big thing for the past week. Like, you can't touch me. And it's going to play into the match because...
it's like always the rule lately. You can't touch me.
Yeah, you can't touch me because then I'll strip you.
Such
bullshit.
Yeah, it makes like the biggest bitches. Yeah.
Fuck off. You're not even supposed to be a ref. You can't make that up. So anyway, Shane's going to grab a mic. He promises to be fair in refereeing tonight's main event. He's been training hard. And he also points out, my shoulder has been seizing up a little bit. It's been seizing up. It's hard for me to count 3, so it might be hard for me to count 3. And Shane says, well, in order to kind of get through those pains, I think I should have a warm-up match. I need to have a warm-up match tonight, and it's going to be between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mideon. Stone Cold versus Mideon. Okay. So, the Ministry comes out at this point, and a random observation I had is that Shane fist bumps everybody in the Ministry. Got me to thinking, when the fuck did fist bumps become a thing? Because I think this is ahead of the time.
I think the 80s.
Well, maybe like the Bash Brothers did like fist bumping or something.
Oh, you mean in wrestling?
I mean, just like
in culture generally?
Like, when the fuck did you do fist bump to somebody regularly? When did I do it? I don't think I was doing it in '99.
I think it has to do to like fighting.
Oh, you think it's a fighting
been like
thing?
A sign of respect.
Fighting?
Yeah, like UFC, they touch gloves. Boxing, they touch gloves.
Yeah.
So when you give someone dabs, it's kind of like, respect.
All right.
You know what I mean, hey, good luck. So I think for as long as fist bumps been around for a while.
All right. So in that case, but I mean like general population. When the fuck is Tom and Harry fist bumping each other to say hi?
Probably the 80s.
Oh shit.
On like Wall Street.
Yeah.
Nice sail, bro. Fist bump. I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
I don't know. It's just a random thing that I was thinking. I was like, when the hell did that come?
Yeah, some people don't fist bump though. Like, you ever try to give someone a fist bump?
And they're like trying to give you a high five. Not even a high five. They do a handshake, and you gotta like change your hand motion. Like, fuck.
Oh, Marty doesn't like the handshakes and stuff. He's a fist bump guy. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's our friend Marty.
Yeah,
we've talked about it on the show before. Going back to the old episodes. But yeah,
let's see. What does Google say here, real quick?
I'm sure it's been around for a while, but I feel like it's fairly.
The Martin gesture may have arisen spontaneously on city basketball courts.
Oh, okay.
And was popularized by basketball player Fred Carter in the 70s. All right. So Fred Carter's the OG fist bumper. He's the one that made it to the general public.
That's fucking weird because who the hell was
wiki.
Who was observing that?
That's wiki though.
Some random.
Who the hell's?
It's not like it was on TV.
Fred Carter. Images. Fred Carter. No fist bumps in any of his pictures, so.
Fuck him. All right. I don't know when the fucking fist bumps happened. But anyway, Shane McMahon's doing fist bumps back in 1999. And I know I wasn't doing fist bumps back in 1999. I think it was a few years later.
I don't know when I started doing the fist bump. I don't know, because it was always a thing in basketball. Even in, like, CYO.
Was it?
You'd give, like, scored a point and assist. Good job. You give the fist bump. Not even like a closed fist. It was more like a sorry fist because you're tired as fuck running.
Yeah, you should whack your hand against each other.
Yeah.
Too tired to.
It's like a lame fist bump.
All right. So anyway, sorry guys if you don't know what the fuck a fist bump is. Like, obviously you know what a fist bump is, but not that you cared about the history of a fist bump.
If you don't know what it is, YouTube it.
They know what it is. They know what it is.
Tell me you YouTube this so I can laugh at you.
All right, so moving on here. We're in the parking lot now on this heat from May 23rd. A limousine arrives. This is, like I said, the pre-show to Over the Edge. Vince McMahon, Joe Briscoe, Pat Patterson get out of the limo. And then Howard Finkel, the stooge, is going to pop up again and run up to Vince McMahon and say, hey, Shane McMahon booked Mideon versus Austin tonight on Heat. Like he did a few weeks back, where there's this stooging off shit going on with Big Show and Austin. So Vince says, "Oh, we'll fix that. We'll have to fix that." So then Vince McMahon comes out later in the night, and he comes out with his Stooges, and Vince gets the mic. He calls out Shane. He says, "I want you out here right now, right now." So Shane doesn't give a fuck. He's got an attitude. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's like, "Yeah, I'll come out right now. Who cares? I'm the boss. You're not the boss. You're Vince. You're not Dad anymore. You're Vince." So Vince tells Shane, "You're going too far, and you can't screw with people's lives and careers." My first thought was, "Oh, I guess only you can."
Yeah, right.
And Vince is going to try to call off the Mideon versus Austin match, and Shane says, "Well, you don't have the power to do that either, because I can make matches, and I'm going to make this match, and I'm actually going to strip Austin of the title if he doesn't appear tonight." Or the only way he won't strip Austin of the title is if McMahon takes his place. So Austin's not here yet because he's a lazy son of a bitch apparently lately. He doesn't get to the shows on time. So if you take his place, then I won't strip him of the title. So Vince agrees to it. So Vince is
Was that real? That he was really like late to shows and shit, and they just wanted to.
I don't know. I don't know if that's like a shoot on reality. You know what I mean?
Right. Figured I'd ask. Yeah. Because I know sometimes they do that.
I could picture them. I don't know if they would bust his balls because they'd probably be fucking pissed off if they were.
And he doesn't strike me as lazy. He's always kind of struck me as like a real professional, except for obviously
I think
the end.
it fits his gimmick to just be late and be like, "Fuck off, I'm doing what I want."
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do.
So yeah, I would say it's just his gimmick. So Vince agrees to the match, and then elsewhere backstage, Vince is going to tell Briscoe and Patterson that he took the match since Austin isn't there, and he doesn't want the title to be stripped from him that way because he cares about Austin, which is such bullshit. And that's the thing I hate about this period that we're viewing right now is that McMahon is acting like this nice guy. It's like, you've been a dickhead so long. All of a sudden you're a nice guy. Who's buying this shit? He's like, "Oh, I don't want Austin's title stripped." Go fuck yourself. You don't give a fuck. And that's only setting up what's going to happen later in the show. Later in the next couple of weeks. But keep viewing. Keep listening. Because now we get to a match between Vince McMahon and Mideon. And Shane McMahon is going to be the special ref. And if you remember a few weeks back, I think it was maybe not last episode, but the episode before, we talked about Vince McMahon attacked Mideon because Mideon was showing up at the WWF studios, and Vince McMahon was told, "Oh, he's here." And then Mideon was in the parking lot, and then McMahon kicked the shit out of Mideon. So anyway, just prior to this match, you have Lucas. Lucas is interviewing the Union.
This guy looks like a Lucas.
Lucas the nerd. And Lucas is there, and he's interviewing the Union. Mankind starts to tell Shane that they will help Vince McMahon, but the corporate ministry parked a forklift, which is funny, because a forklift is what earned Mankind his championship against The Rock not too long ago, back at the Super Bowl halftime.
Holds a special place in his heart.
So the corporate ministry parks a forklift in front of their locker room and blocked them in. And the match is going to start. Vince is going to try to attempt to fight Mideon, but the corporate ministry comes down and they get a hold of him and they attack Vince McMahon. They attack his leg, and he ends up being injured. And basically what they're trying to do is set up the storyline that Vince cannot be the special ref during the Undertaker versus Stone Cold match at the pay-per-view. So that's what happens here on Heat. Leading into the pay-per-view. Over the Edge. From the same night, May 23rd, 1999. And we know that's an unfortunate night, which we'll get to later. But we start covering here with one of the top matches of the show. Now, I don't want to totally go into all of the details here, but we get The Rock versus Triple H, and as we just talked about with Triple H, he's starting to come up on the rise, and he had a good match with Stone Cold, and I think he has a decent match here with The Rock. JV, was there anything you wanted to talk about with this match? Or you want me to just go run through the basics here?
Yeah, run through the
All right,
basics.
so prior to the match, Triple H attacks The Rock. Mankind's going to come out, and Triple H wants The Rock counted out before the match. So we have that to start. Right.
Because he's a heel. He's trying to get the
He wants
easy
the easy win. But The Rock comes out with the cast on. Triple H has warned him not to come out with the cast on.
Yeah, because he has been telling him beforehand that the cast should have been off by
Right,
now.
saying, I'm not going to wrestle you with the cast.
So he basically thinks like The Rock's
Exactly.
faking it. Or using it as an advantage, like a weapon.
Which, The Rock's a babyface, so he's not using it as a weapon.
Yeah, maybe like a month ago.
But not anymore.
Not now. Not now. He's a changed guy, man. He went and found Jesus and shit. He's fucking not going to hurt you.
So immediately, Triple H is going to go after the cast, and he's going to bust it off of The Rock. And then Triple H is going to take that cast and nail The Rock with it. So he used the cast against him. China attacks The Rock outside the ring. Again, like I said moments ago, China should not be getting involved in these matches anymore, trying to build up Triple H as a star. Whatever.
Gotta agree with you.
Triple H, or it does. He has to rely on his valet. It's what she is. She's not a bodyguard, as she once was.
Yeah, she's
because
more than a valet.
Initially, she was like a bodyguard because he was like this prissy guy who didn't want to get hit and shit. But now he's acting like he's this big tough guy. So why do you need a bodyguard at this point? So, yeah. China needs to go at this point. And to continue on, Triple H works on Rock's arm for much of the match, of course, which is good storytelling. You know, he's had a cast on, should work on the arm. Should always tell a story like that in wrestling matches, I believe. But this leads now to Earl Hebner, again, grabbing Triple H's arm to stop beating on The Rock's arm. So trying to tell a story, but fucking Earl Hebner is going to jump in again and say, stop doing that, stop doing that. What do you mean? I don't have to stop doing that. It's not illegal for me to attack an injured arm. He's in the match. It's official.
Exactly. He's obviously cleared to wrestle. He wants to come out hurt. That's his fucking stupidity. You're going to attack his weakness.
But it's always Earl Hebner trying to stop Triple H in these matches.
It's always helping the face.
It's to quit it. So again, it's another opportunity for Triple H to knock his ass out, and he doesn't right away.
And another opportunity for Mike to attack Earl.
I know, it's just constant. I hope I'm
relentless,
ruthless. I hope I'm starting a movement on Earl Hebner. He's not as good as everyone thinks. I mean, he's good, but his character sucks. He shouldn't be a character, is my point. He was made a character after the fucking Montreal Screwjob.
He was.
Although
he had a choice after that.
I mean, I guess it goes even further back. He was a character initially with the Andre the Giant match with his twin.
His twin.
So it started there, and then they cooled it down for a while, and then they brought him back as a character. Although, whatever. All right, so Chyna's going to get involved. She gets a steel chair, and Earl Hebner then pulls away the steel chair from Triple H again. And then he starts poking Triple H in the chest. You can't do that. You can't do that. And then Triple H knocks his ass down. And I was like, yeah, I love Triple H now. Although I don't really. But Triple H, that was a fucking good move at the time. Fucking knocked that guy down. He's been a pain in the ass in your matches for a few weeks. So fuck him. But because he gets knocked down, this match ends in a DQ. Which is lame. And solid match like this between two rivals that have gone at it for a while. They had a great match at SummerSlam and a ladder match. And now they have this big match here, and it just ends blah. Earl Hebner gets knocked out, and he calls it DQ. He should have got knocked out. If Triple H is going to knock him out, he should get knocked out to the point where he can't even call DQ. You need to send like Jimmy Coderas into the ring.
You need someone else to do it.
I don't want a DQ here. You're knocked out. Fuck it. Somebody else is coming in and doing the rest of the match. So The Rock wins by DQ after 12 minutes. And the match is actually going to go on. It's not a match at this point, but the fighting is going to continue. Rock nails Triple H with the chair. Rock hits Hebner after Hebner tries to raise his arm, which I thought was great because now Hebner's back up. He's trying to raise The Rock's arm as the winner, but The Rock is pissed off because this is my injured arm. Fuck off. So he knocks him down. Which is like double whammy for me. It's like, fuck him, yeah. Earl Hebner fucked up twice. And then you got Triple H is busted open. They keep fighting on the outside. Mankind's going to come out. He's going to come out with a steel pipe. I guess that's a steel pipe that, I didn't see this, but they said it on commentary, that Mankind was hit with a steel pipe by Triple H. Must have been on heat that I didn't pay attention to. And they all head out of the ring. Triple H and China does bail once Mankind comes in with the pipe. Briscoe and Patterson then report on McMahon's injury to Michael Cole. They say, we don't expect him to come back tonight. And then Vince is carted off in an ambulance. And then Shane is taunting Vince as he leaves in the ambulance. Which kind of ties to what else is going on here on this show, which we haven't gotten to yet, but the whole Owen Hart thing happened before this.
Yeah.
And Vince is being carted off in an ambulance for a fake injury after Owen Hart was rarely taken out in an ambulance.
Yeah, questionable.
Yeah. Change the booking. The fuck?
They've changed on the fly for, in not worse situations, but
less, right, exactly.
Not significant reasons. Yeah. Like, come on, this was the time to
change the damn story. All right, so to continue on, though, we go to our last main part of this Austin story this week, and that is the championship match. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker with special refs Shane McMahon and supposed to be Vince McMahon, but we know that he was just carted off in the ambulance and left the arena. So this match is going to start at 1 hour, 52 minutes, 46 seconds. And go to 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 15 seconds. And get a nice video recap package of all that's happened, all that we've talked about the past couple of weeks with the corporate ministry being formed and the whole Undertaker being a creeper, being a pedophile, going after Stephanie, sending dick pics, and all that shit that the Undertaker did. Where to, Stephanie? So all of that was in that video package, and when you look back at it, it's like, all right, it's an angle. It's interesting. It's kind of cool. Kind of lame, but yeah. So anyway, we get to the match, and Pat Patterson's gonna come out, and he's gonna head out in his referee gear. And he's out there to replace Vince as the special guest referee. And then you have The Undertaker comes out. And The Undertaker comes out with some massive cape on. Like, I don't know. He kind of looked like he was Damien Demento. You remember Damien Demento?
Yeah, what's the point? Yeah, I remember it too. What's the point of
I don't know. It was just like a new costume design for him, apparently. And he had that on. And it took two people to take it off of him. So good thing he came out first, because if Austin was out there first, Austin would have beat his ass while he was stuck in his cape.
While he's trying to take his cape off.
But while Pat Patterson's out there to be this new referee, Undertaker attacks Pat Patterson, choke slams him, sends him down. So now Shane McMahon is the only referee left in the match. So we're going to have just Shane as the ref. So Austin music hits, the place goes crazy, and Austin immediately takes his vest off on his way to the ring. They go at it immediately at 1 hour and 58 minutes. They go back and forth. Austin rolls out of the ring after a botch spot, I'm pretty sure, because Undertaker clotheslined Austin, and Austin kind of got stuck in the ropes and didn't fall over the top. So Austin hits the mat, and then he rolls out. I think he was supposed to be clotheslined over the top and be on the outside.
That makes sense.
He knew he was supposed to be outside the ring for the next few spots. So he improvised and said, all right, fuck, I'll just drop down and roll out. So he rolls out. He tries to get back into the ring. And Undertaker goes at him and knocks him off the apron a couple times. So good working by Austin there. Because I'm pretty sure that had to be the spot. So fucking smart guy there. Austin gets right back on the ring apron, though, after a couple of those spots, and hits the stunner. It's basically the stunner on the Undertaker. Jim Ross doesn't call it the stunner. He calls it a hangman. That Austin hit him with a hangman. So it's just a stunner on the top rope. And super stunner. I thought it was a good spot. It's so early in the match to use that move. I mean, maybe Austin wasn't even thinking, like, he just wanted to drop him on his neck, but he's like, oh shit, this looked the same exact as my move. So, yeah, that's probably not the right thing to do. Damn it. He should have just, like, grabbed him to the back of the neck with his two hands, just pulled him down instead of doing the stunner motion on him as a hangman. But that didn't work out that way. Austin gets back in the ring. He climbs the top rope, hits a fucking clothesline, which was damn cool too. Austin gets on the fucking top rope. When does Austin get on the top rope? Right. So he gets on the top rope. He clotheslines Undertaker. We haven't seen Austin on the top rope since he was like stunning Steve Austin. So he does that. He gets a 2 count. And it was actually a fair count by Shane. Shane was like a legit ref like he was back in 1991, doing a regular 2 count. Which kind of put me out of the element for a little bit. It's like, hey, aren't you supposed to be cheating here? Shouldn't you try to cheat him a little bit? Like, did you forget? So, right after that, Austin pegs off Shane. And then JR reminds us, Austin can't lay a finger on Shane. And I love that within commentary because the audience needs that. They need to be reminded of those little things. Because sometimes people are just tuning in for the pay-per-view. So you need to point that shit out. So JR does a great job with that. Shane spins Austin around to provoke him. Trying to get him to touch him. And this distracts Austin, and Undertaker strikes Austin with a throat thrust. Doing his MMA shit, it looks like, at this point. Taker holds down Austin in the corner with a boot on his throat, followed by a series of punches. We get a whip and a reversal. Austin goes to kick Taker, but Taker takes down Austin. He works on his inner thigh, some elbow drops. And we're going to get a lot of that. We're going to get a lot of working on the leg. Undertaker's leg, Austin's leg. Austin has that knee injury or the leg injury. And Undertaker has his injuries. We talked about it last week on the No Mercy pay-per-view match that Undertaker looked weak. Austin looked kind of weak. So it's only a week later that these matches happen. So they're still not 100%. So we're not going to get the best out of both of these guys again. It's like every time we have a match between the two of them, two big stars, Undertaker and Austin, we can't get the best out of them together. Because they're always beat the fuck up. Because they use them so often. Alright, but let me skip ahead a little bit. We're going to get to... what do you say?
Which just real quick, thinking about what you said early in the show, leads to why they need other dance partners.
Like people. Triple H.
Like other opponents. Right. for exactly the reason you said. When you come out of something feeling that way, it's because it's starting to become predictable and stale.
No, you got to switch it up from time to time. All right, like I said, to skip ahead a little bit though to 2 hours and 3 minutes, you're gonna get some fighting on the outside of the ring, and Taker gets the advantage at that point at 2 hours and 3 minutes, and then Austin's gonna suddenly whip Taker into the steel steps. Austin's gonna attempt to set Undertaker's legs onto the steel steps. Shane is, meanwhile, as the referee, pulling Taker away, but Austin realizes he can't do anything to Shane, so he gets up and kind of intimidates Shane, but can't touch him. But this gives Undertaker enough time to get back up and get back into the ring. So they head back in, and Undertaker has Austin trapped with his legs. Undertaker's stomping on Austin's legs as they get back in the ring. And Shane is helping Undertaker get more leverage by pulling on his arm. So you have this referee now who is helping one wrestler get an advantage, which we knew was going to happen. It's the whole fucking story. Austin gets free from it. He begins to punch Undertaker while sitting on his chest. So he's pounding on him while he's on his chest. Austin goes back to working on the leg again. And Austin knocks out Paul Bearer moments later. Paul Bearer is going to have a funny spot in this match to come. Taker kicks Austin off the apron, then slams Austin's spine into the ring post. Austin gets dumped over the barricade at 2 hours and 6 minutes. They fight into the crowd for a little bit. Taker throws Austin back over into the ringside area. I feel like they only go into the crowd for like a minute. It's like there's a time limit. It's it's almost like the venue is like, you can't go in the crowd for more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes max. Like, there's got to be a time limit. Well, the security guard's like, no, get back in. Get back over there. Because it's so risky. So it's always so short.
The more exposure they have to actual live people that are drinking and intoxicated and all that is not...
Right. So there's got to be something to it. Because it just... Keeping the notes on it and keeping a time on these matches sometimes is like, oh, they were in the barricade. Like, I almost don't even have to write down how long they're out there. It's like, it's going to be fucking 30 seconds. They're going to get tossed back over. It's like nothing. It's just like for the pop of it all. Yep. Like, they're in the crowd. It's like, all right, back into the ring. Immediately. All right, so there's this good spot, though, when Austin gets dumped back over the barricade into the ringside area at 2 hours, 6 minutes. They're fighting for about a minute. Taker throws Austin in there. Taker chokes Austin with some cables once they get back into the ringside area, as is usual in these matches. We've talked about it week after week, that the cables are involved all the time. And I'm beginning to think these cables are fucking gimmick cables because they're always just laying there. They're just ready to be used, like all snaked up. Like, these cables are nothing. These are just wrapped up wires that have nothing to do with anything. They're just there. Right.
Yeah, they're probably not plugged into anything. Probably like fucking wires that chill in everyone's basement that they don't use.
That's what it's going to be. Because every time after coming over a barricade, Undertaker grabs the cords or Austin grabs the cords and they're choking each other with it. So, those are fucking gimmicks. So, he gets choked out with him for a little bit. Austin stumbles away. And he goes to push Shane away. So this is a thing that was interesting. It was funny to notice. And Shane does a great job here. So Austin is about to push Shane away. But Shane knows that Austin can't touch him. Because then he's supposed to DQ him and take the belt. So Shane jumps out of the way of being pushed by Austin, who may have just been messing up by accident. Like, just get the hell out of my way. So Shane jumps out of the way and says, hey, don't touch me. And I don't know if I could be worked, but I think Austin made a mistake and Shane was smart and got the fuck out of the way. Said, hey, don't touch me. And it was like, hey, don't touch me because you're going to be DQ'd or I'm going to take your belt away. Because otherwise, why would you jump away? If you want to take the title off him, wouldn't you just get touched?
Yeah. That's a good catch. That's a fucking damn good observation.
That was a fucking good move by a young Shane McMahon there to not fuck up the match.
Yeah.
All right, so then we go from there. We go Taker removes the steps and places Austin's legs around the bottom of the post. So he moves steps out of the way, totally out of the way. He puts Austin's legs at the bottom of the post, like on the mat at the bottom. And then he's going to put the steps back. And then he kicks the steps right into his leg. Pretty fucking brutal move there. Austin rolls back into the ring. After that, he gets himself together and rolls back into the ring. Then he's in the corner of the ring, gets stomped. Austin fights back with some punches. Taker strikes back with another throat punch. And then Taker is finally going to attempt a tombstone. Austin gets free of it. He clotheslines Taker out of the ring. Austin pushes Taker into the announce table again. There you go, the announce table, fucking over and over again. Announce table, announce table. And they don't break the damn announce table. They don't even fuck with the Spanish table. They just fuck with JR. So Austin slams Taker into the table a few times, tosses him back into the ring. Austin's finally going to attempt a Luthez press. I've been waiting for this the whole time because this usually happens within the first 5 minutes of an Austin match. It hasn't happened yet. But in this case, Undertaker is going to actually block it. He's going to grab Austin in the Luthez press. I was shocked by this. I was like, holy shit. Somebody stopped the Luthez press, finally. And he gives him a spine buster. A brutal spine buster, I would say. At 2 hours and 12 minutes and 2 seconds. Somebody finally puts an end to this run of Luthez presses. And it's The Undertaker. And I'm happy about it because it's a new spot. And that's what I like about this match in general. Is that it's a different format than we've seen from the Austin matches of basically the last year. Where generally it's been Austin comes out, they meet in the aisleway, they fight to the set, they come back to the ring, they go back into the crowd, they go to the tables, get back in the ring. We're getting all that, but we're getting it in different order. So I kind of like it. I'm liking it a lot more than what we've seen because I'm sick of seeing the same shit over and over again. And then we get this spot with the Luthez press actually being prevented by The Undertaker. So that was cool to me. What'd you think, JV? In terms, no, not in skull rating, but in terms of like, what do you think of like how the match has been different, like a different setup than usual from what we've seen?
I didn't like the match. I thought it was a lot of unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, chaos. I guess in other words, it's still the same ridiculous chaos as usual. I just like that it was in a different order. It's not the same exact setup, is what I was saying.
But you still, you still see it coming. It's like they know they have these two guys that are limited when they wrestle each other. For some reason, these guys just typically don't.
Oh, they haven't yet. Not at all. And I don't think they ever do.
And they kind of like forced this because they wanted it. It does feel forced, the Stone Cold and Taker feud, and so the match, it's hard to feel like invested in the match.
No, I get what you're saying.
That makes sense.
But I feel like we'd be a little bit more invested in storyline because of the McMahon connection to it than the usual Undertaker Austin storyline that had been going on before. But I did just want to point that out, though, that we have a different pacing going on at this point than usual. And even JR and Jerry Law are going to point out that nobody's blocked the Luthez press before. And I thought that was an interesting twist to Austin matches, that nobody's done that before and that The Undertaker did it in this spot. But, yeah, he should be scouting it. He should fucking know.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure they do mention that. Is that he knows he's been watching him. So anyway, we get to a spot now where Paul Bearer's going to whack Austin with a shoe at 2 hours and 12 minutes, and Austin's out on the ringside mat, and Taker goes out of the ring also at the same time. They fight in the aisleway for a little bit, and I hate the whole fighting in the Iowa. Just fucking stay in the ring. But Austin's at a disadvantage for most of this match because of Shane McMahon, Paul Bearer. They're fighting in the set. And this is probably one of the cool spots of the match, I guess. Mm-hmm. Even though it's typical that they fight with the sets, which I do like because the sets today are so generic. It's the same thing over and over again. So at least with these pay-per-views back in '99, they had a different set.
Yeah, they were.
Right. So this one's based on a theme of, I guess it's a church. It's stained glass windows. Being that it's the Undertaker, I guess has religious connotations. So Undertaker gets thrown into a couple stained glass windows around 2 hours, 14 minutes. And they keep fighting around the open area. So they finally made it to that open area that they always fight into, where there's no crowd. There's a bunch of wasted seats. It's just open area. And they fight into that area for a while. And there's no DQ. JR does a good job pointing out that Shane does not want them to be counted out. He doesn't want a DQ because he doesn't want Austin to retain the title. Because if he wins by DQ or count out, he keeps the title. So he's not going to call any of that. He's just going to let him fight the hell out of it. So they make their way back to the ring. And this is the final moments of the match. So this is the end segment here. 2 hours and 17 minutes. They get back to the ring. Austin low blows the Undertaker. Austin goes to the second rope. He gives the birds. It says, you can pick this up on the audio. You can hear it. He says, fuck you, you piece of shit. And then he drops the elbow on him, which is pretty cool. Austin gets a 2 count. It should have been a 3 count. Shane stops himself from making the 3 count. Shane's acting like his shoulder's hurt because, right, he blew out his shoulder like he was saying earlier in the night on Heat that he's had issues. He doesn't know if he's going to be able to count the 3. So here it is in this case. Austin gets in his face. He's making sure that he's not touching him because they've pointed that out on commentary numerous times, that he can't touch him. Paul Bearer slides in a chair at the same time while Austin's yelling at Shane. Austin sees Taker coming. He kicks Taker in the gut, whips him into the corner, but that slams Shane into the corner also. Austin grabs the chair and lays out the Undertaker at 2 hours and 18 minutes. So Shane is now down. My immediate thought was, oh, is Shane going to try to DQ him because of this? But no, Jerry Briscoe comes running out to be the next referee. And then I also thought right away, why the fuck did you not come out earlier? There were supposed to be 2 referees in this match. Vince was eliminated because he's injured. Pat Patterson got chokeslammed. Now, how come you didn't come out right after that? Why are you waiting until this moment when there's nobody to make the count?
He was on.
Yeah. So Shane's out to make the count. Now Briscoe comes in. He comes in sliding to make the count. But guess what? He's only going to make a 2 count. So that doesn't work out. And Vince comes out moments later, and he's limping out. Taker and Austin hit a double clothesline on each other, and McMahon starts to make a double count out on the 2 of them. Shane McMahon is still out at this point, which is crazy because it's been a couple minutes or a minute or so. Shane's just still laying out there, and Austin and Taker get up on a 6 count from Vince McMahon's count. Moments after they both get up, Austin hits the stunner on the Undertaker, and Shane finally gets up. Vince goes to make the count. Shane interrupts it at 2. Vince is pissed off. He pushes Shane to the mat in the corner. And then Shane is going to step back up, and he pushes Vince. Now, Austin's getting up at the same time. Vince gets pushed into Austin. Austin gets tripped by Undertaker, who's on the mat. Undertaker fucking rolls up Austin, and Shane McMahon runs right around and makes the quick 3 count. And there you have it at 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 18 seconds after 22 minutes and 58 seconds of a match. you have a new WWF champion, a fucking Undertaker. Damn. New champ. What do you think of that, JV?
Transition champ, right? He doesn't hold it long.
No, doesn't hold that long.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is kind of the if we know what's to come, this is like the I guess the winning play here by the corporate ministry. No.
Right. That's right. This has been their plan the whole way, is to get the title off of him again. We're gonna talk about it next week.
Fast counts and I don't know.
I know. Well, we knew it was going to be set up that way. You have Shane McMahon as the referee. Vince McMahon is in there. Even though he's supposed to be a babyface, but who the hell believes that? So, I guess it's typical. Austin looks pissed. I love the look of his face. Like, wow, you fucking screwed me. You guys screwed me. And it's almost like Austin knows. Vince, you screwed me. I still know it's you, Vince. You fucked me. Because you were in this ring when I lost. So fuck you. If you weren't here, I would have won. That's how I feel like he was thinking.
You think so?
That's almost the look he gives. And then they show Vince McMahon like he almost wants to smile. He's like, no. I don't like to see the bullshit. I don't know what I thought back in '99 because it's too long ago to remember. But
yeah, I don't remember.
I wouldn't. There's no fucking way I ever believed that Vince McMahon was trying to be a good guy. Yeah.
I don't think I did either.
After 3 weeks of being with the shitty union, fuck off.
The union.
Union. They're gonna be gone next week. Fuck knows who they are. All right. Anyway, so JR has here's a nice line at the end of it. It says, "The rattlesnake has been screwed by the boy wonder. The rattlesnake has been screwed." I like that line. So anyway, Shane McMahon runs off right away. Austin continues to stomp out the Undertaker. Corporate ministry runs in. Austin's going to stun every single one of them. Austin gets a chair to make sure nobody else gets into the ring. And then Vince McMahon looks on as the show ends. So it's kind of ominous at the end. The show ends with Vince McMahon's face. So that's the way it was meant to be directed. But in terms of skull ratings, JV, I had a 3 skull. What'd you have?
2.
2. All right. So
yeah,
you were higher on the Triple H and Stone Cold match earlier than you were on this match.
For sure.
Okay. Like I was saying as we were going over it, I like the pacing of this match being different than what we've seen from typical matches. I can understand why you like the Triple H match better. It's because Triple H is on a rise and I think he's stepping up a little bit. And he's healthier, of course, so he can put on a better match. And in this match, we're watching 2 injured guys, basically. Just trying to make 23 minutes. So, yeah. I can see why you go 2.5, but I like part of the storytelling.
No.
What's that?
Not 2.5.
Oh, you said 2? Oh.
I said 2.
Oh, my bad. Fuck, 2. All right, fuck. 2 skulls.
Sorry.
Undertaker versus Stone Cold has not been good overall. Good ratings. And you would think it would be.
Good ratings, but not... It's been great ratings, right? Didn't they just have their highest rating?
Well, no. Good ratings by us.
Okay.
Good skull ratings.
I wonder how... I think I was pumped for this, though, because I liked the whole ministry stuff when I was younger. But I don't think I liked the corporate ministry. I thought that was like... I think at this point... I don't know. I wish I could ask myself.
I know. It's tough to go back and think. I don't have vivid memories of everything. Of what happened. I remember watching... I know I loved Austin. And then The Rock. But yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. All right, so that concludes that part. Now we go to the next Raw, and we're not going to cover much of this. We're just going to talk briefly about it because the next Raw is the Raw 313 from May 24th, 1999, and is the Owen Hart Tribute Show. This is a live show. It's in St. Louis, Missouri. So this brings us to the tough part of the show is the unfortunate death of Owen Hart after an incident as the Blue Blazer as he ascended from the rafters in his entrance and didn't unhook his, what would it be called?
Like a harness.
His harness, his harness at the right time, or it didn't unhook properly. Don't know for sure. But either way, he wasn't able to release in time, or he released too early. Actually, I think that's what it was. He maybe released early, or it released early on its own. Don't know for sure. But anyway, it was an accident, and he hit the ring post, and that led to internal injuries. Then he would pass away later that night. And that was only after, I think, maybe the second match of the show on the pay-per-view, Over the Edge. So
yeah, it was something like that.
Very early on the show that this accident happened. JV, I don't know how you want to... We talked about it a little bit, but I don't know how you want to go from this point.
Just rest in peace to Owen Hart. It was an unfortunate circumstance, and obviously something, probably the darkest point in WWF history, considering it happened,
on TV.
While everyone was watching, and it's just unfortunate. But those are unfortunately, obviously they're more safe with everything now. They take a lot more precautions, so they were able to, I guess, learn from that. But it sucks. There's not really much other you can say than that. And he was a great wrestler, great talent, great family man, just a great human being overall. And unfortunately, maybe it was just his time to go. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to talk about as a wrestling fan, of course. Especially on a podcast platform, when we talk about it, we don't want to offend anybody or say anything wrong.
Yeah, we don't really need to get into it. Everyone knows how we feel about Owen Hart, so we don't really need to stay on this sore subject and kind of move on. If you want to hear more about this, I'm sure there's some documentaries out there you can watch, but this ain't the place for it.
Right. There's a lot of documentaries. There's especially a good podcast of Jim Ross where he talks about the entire night of Over the Edge. So he's somebody that sat at ringside. So if you want to hear a first-hand perspective, then that's who you go to. We're not the guys to go to because we're just fans like you. So we don't have any insight. So we don't want to really get into it. We loved Owen Hart as a wrestler and fan, and we thought he had great matches, and that's all we can say about it, basically. So, R.I.P. Owen Hart, and we'll give you a special tribute at the end of the show with your music and your special salute that Howard Finkel gave on this episode of Raw from Raw 313. So, as I said, this was the Owen Hart tribute show. It was one of the highest rated shows in Raw history. It competed against Nitro. Nitro's falling at this point, but it went 7.2 to 3.8 against Nitro. So that was a beatdown. And and this is basically a house show of sorts because they didn't want any storylines going on during this. So no storylines will be talked about. There's 10 matches, and throughout the show, they're going to show tributes to Owen Hart. They're going to have wrestlers reflect on Owen Hart's career, and there's some good stories, so it's worth going back to watch, but that's not what our show's about. We're not going to go over all that. Yeah, I would recommend going back if you want to. If you're in the mood for that, go back and take a listen to what some wrestlers had to say about passing of Owen Hart here. And we're not going to include those matches, the 10 matches, in our Attitude Era notes. They're just matches to entertain the crowd that was there, that paid tickets to see that show. They probably were going to get a totally different show, but that's just a good thing that they did. And they didn't decide to cancel the night before, and there's different views on that. But they decided to change what this Raw would be, and it would be a tribute to Owen Hart. So go back and take a look at it. It's on the network. Over the Edge is on the network, and that was a show that wasn't available for about 15 years. There was no DVDs, there were no videotapes, unless you taped it on pay-per-view yourself. Nobody had Over the Edge until WWE Network came along in 2014.
All right, now after that somber note, I guess we can move on to the Attitude Era update.
Yeah.
That's just
all right, so yeah.
Rambling now.
Attitude Era. Yeah, I know. All right, so in Attitude Era notes, we have the corporate ministry storylines going on, and there's not a whole lot. Basically, what happens on the Raw 312 from May 17th, you have Big Boss Man against the Big Show.
This is in his
Big Show's actually going to get a win here. Pretty sound win. Yeah, he's got his dungarees, yep. And then at the pay-per-view, Over the Edge, you get the corporate ministry, which is going up against the Union in a 8-man tag match. The Union defeats the corporate ministry in a fucking very lengthy match, about 15 minutes, that I didn't want to watch, but I ended up watching it. Big Show and Boss Man had a decent exchange in the match because they had some work together on the previous week. Big Show body slams Viscera, which was pretty cool. To see Viscera fucking get slammed, that was pretty cool. So the match goes on until one team can be completely eliminated. So it's like almost like a Survivor Series match. And it ends up being Boss Man and Mankind as being the final two. Mankind gets the win with getting Mr. Sacco on Boss Man. The IC title scene, and that's the sore spot. That's kind of what we were just talking about. On Raw 312, May 17th, Jeff Jarrett and the Blue Blazer go up against Val Venus and the Godfather. That's Owen Hart's last match. And he was supposed to go against Godfather for the Intercontinental title. And based on what is said, is that the Blue Blazer was supposed to win the Intercontinental title. I don't know if I believe that because there was nothing leading to Blue Blazer winning the Intercontinental title. There was nothing leading Blue Blazer to even having a fucking feud with the Godfather because that storyline had been over for about a month and a half. And then it just came back out of nowhere, which is very unfortunate considering the circumstances that you had a character that was pretty much done with. And then you put him in a situation where he's going to come flying down through the rafters when he wasn't even a thing anymore. Anyway, let's move on from that. You got the Hardcore Championship scene. Al Snow cuts a promo. And this is, oh, hell no for me, because it just continues on from the shit that I said last week. You got Pierre the Darehead. Al Snow comes out with the box. He has the Darehead in there. He has a tape of Columbo. Yeah, like a big-ass box. There's Columbo. He has a pair of glasses, a cigar. He has the dress with tire tracks on it. I guess I don't really know what that is talking about. Somebody got ran over in a dress, apparently. Snow makes a funny deer noise. Now, this got me to actually laugh because they had showed it a few times. He had done it previously on some recaps that they showed, and he just makes this obnoxious deer noise. It's like, oh wow, this is so over the top. And I laughed, but it sucks. Yeah. But ultimately, it's hell no. This whole thing sucks. And they could do good shit on their own, Al Snow and Hardcore Holly. But they just bringing in deer heads and making deer noises, and it's a comedy spot. That's what it is. Yeah, so It's the comedy spot. They have the match at the pay-per-view, and they fight into the concession stand. So it's like, I'm already saying there's hell no moments, but then there's another hell no moment. There's actually 2 more to come within this damn match. So Hardcore Holly gives a suplex, and they call it the Holocaust.
Awful. Yeah, I can't believe they
I couldn't fucking believe that.
They went there.
Like, and that's not like PC culture.
Yeah.
That's fucking normal. Like, even 1999, you're not making jokes about that. I mean, maybe South Park was making jokes about it, but generally
animated.
that was already
Animated
frowned
shows
upon.
Get away with a lot. These are fucking
that's true.
Human beings, flesh and blood.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not just us like retro being, and believe me, JV and I are not PC culture.
No, far from it.
We'll be nice because we're being recorded, but we're not totally.
You don't even know.
But yeah, that was like, wow, that's uncalled for. And then this next one, JV is gonna fucking hate. I know that. Because Jerry Lawler, he makes a joke that I couldn't fucking believe that he said on TV. Jerry Lawler says, when I was 12 years old, it took me hours to bury my cat, my pet cat.
What a
dick. Then Michael Cole said, why? Then Lawler responds, because it kept moving. Ugh.
Poor taste.
It's fucking nasty. Yeah, even in more poor taste because, well, actually, not even in more poor taste, but just thinking back at the night, it's like this is right before the match that Owen Hart died, but they didn't know that. But still, when I watched this, I knew this was happening. I knew the Owen Hart death was going to happen, and you almost put yourself in a mindset when you watch something like that, and any death reference pops out to you.
Yeah, I agree.
So it just seems like they talk so much about death that maybe you shouldn't, because you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. But then you don't...
Then it gets awkward.
You know, yeah. But then you can't limit yourself to how you act on what might be. You know, so anyway,
the
just...
what if game.
Exactly. You can't play that game. All right, so Al Snow retains after a powerbomb and then drops Holly on his nuts. He gets the 3 count. So he hits the powerbomb, and then he's like so dazed that he falls and lands on his nuts. Gets the 3 count. That brings us to the tag team title scene. And ultimately, you're going to have
Kane and X-Pac.
The tag team titles defended between Kane and X-Pac against D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. That's actually a decent match on the show, but Kane hits a chokeslam on Mark Henry and they retain the titles. And that's about it. All right, so let me move on now to Val and Nicole.
This was interesting. I saw this. Nicole Bass.
All right, so at Over the Edge pay-per-view match. They have a mixed tag team match, Val Venus and Nicole Bass.
Nicole Bass gives him a big kiss and shit.
Yeah, right. And then Val Venus is like, ooh, I think I like that. Yeah. And my note that I put for that was like, he's sticking it in any hole, so he didn't care. He probably had to bang dudes before he banged women in porn. Right. So that's the story I hear about porn.
The story on the block. Through the rumors, through the schoolyards. That's how it works.
Yeah. If you're a dude and you're in porn, you got to bang dudes before you can bang the hot chicks. And that brings us to the hot chicks, I guess. PMS in their man meet. And yeah, I think we can just skip this whole thing. Tess has a match with Meat. Yeah, that's fucking nothing really happens there. There's a DQ in that match, and that's from Raw 312 on May 17th, 1999. That's probably his biggest spot match at this point, is that he's on Raw. And then he's back on Heat where he usually is, and he has a match against Brian Christopher. And Meat wins thanks to some distractions from PMS. But then Michael Hayes comes out, and the Hardy Boys come out, and they attack Too Much. So we got a little feud going on with Too Much and the Hardy Boys. And that leads us now to our Hardy Boys update with the Brood. And I did have to bring this up. This is Raw 312, and I have it highlighted in red for me to remember to bring up. From May 17th, 1999, Michael Hayes and the Hardy Boys versus the Brood. And you have Michael Hayes
in his bright red
in a match, and he's wearing Jenko jeans.
The bright red T-shirt.
Goddamn Jenko jeans. I had those Jenko jeans back in 1999.
Yeah, I had a pair too.
Had a pair with skunk on it.
Yeah, they had ones with squirrel on it and shit.
Squirrels, skunks, different animals. How lame was that shit? And they were like bell bottoms too.
They wicked wide like.
Oh man,
I know why my dad hated them. Like fucking hated them. That's like I think we only got like it was like one like school year. I got a pair of Jenkos and a pair of Zones, and then that was it. My dad's like, I'm not getting you this. You look like a fucking idiot.
It's funny, you see shit on TV and it's like, oh, I can do that.
Wow.
And then it's like, nah, you're not a wrestler.
Nope,
you can't do that.
Not me.
Even these guys like the Hardy Boys that wear that, like, outside of the ring, you can't pull that off either.
No.
People are going to think you're fucked up.
Yeah, that's good for an actor show. TV.
Right.
If you want them to act like that guy, put those pants on him.
Yeah. But to try to pull it off in reality, it's like, oh yeah, that's my favorite actor. I'm going to dress like that and you look like shit. All right, anyway. So we got Michael Hayes wearing a Jenko jeans. He's like the wannabe cool dad in this group. He's so old at this point. Although he's probably only like 43 or something. He's like John Cena's age. But not in the shape of John Cena, of course.
No. Let's not insult John Cena here.
Yeah. So anyway, we had this, and I just had to bring that up because of the Jenko jeans and shit. But Edge and Christian look pretty damn good. We get Edge doing a sweet spear. So we get one of his first spears here. That happens at 1 hour and 54 seconds on the Raw from May 17th, 1999.
It's not much, but you do
cool.
see a good amount of Edge in this match.
Yeah. If you're an Edge head, then that's a good spot to go back to because that's one of his first spears that you see on TV. His first big spears. And the beginning of a feud between the Hardys and the Brood.
Yep.
On Heat 43, you get the Hardy Boys against Goldust and Blue Meanie. And I had to bring up Blue Meanie for JV. Hardy Boys win a tag team match, so that's their first big win. And the Brood delivers a bloodbath to Hayes and the Hardy Boys as payback. So the Hardys have been drenched since they drenched the Brood, who's been giving some people some bloodbaths over the past couple of months. And that wraps up things here with the Attitude Era update, and I'll bring us down to the bottom line wrap up. So we got some house show update, and it's not a whole lot because we're only covering a week here, but starting from after No Mercy of 99, which was on May 16th, we have a couple shows, one starting on May 22nd. That's in Chicago, Illinois at the Rosemont Horizon. And Stone Cold is going to team with The Rock and The Big Show to defeat Triple H, Undertaker, and Big Boss Man in a street fight. And the match is going to end with Austin hitting a stunner on the Big Boss Man. And then that's it. That's it. That's the only thing happening on the house show scene because, like I said, we're only covering that 1 week. So, JV, what do you got for an oh hell yeah moment of the week?
My oh hell yeah moment I'm actually going to give to the Triple H match.
I thought you were going to say the same.
Oh, did you?
And I'm going to agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the oh oh hell yeah moment of the week. That it was a solid match,
especially coming off of that crappy. I was heavily critical of Triple H in the UK match. So
right, we said he wasn't ready for prime time basically.
Yeah,
and he stepped up the next night.
I had to eat crow on that one.
Yeah. So good for him. Even though I rated the Undertaker match higher, I do agree that is oh hell yeah, in my opinion.
Oh, hell no!
What about oh hell no?
Oh hell no. What do I want to go with?
You had one. You just said one, I thought.
Yeah, from the beginning of the show. I think it was the backstage attack and all that, and how they were just hiding in the closet the whole time.
Oh, okay.
During the start of Raw 312. The first Raw we covered on today's show.
Yeah.
Like the second promo, Vince gets attacked backstage.
Yep.
That's my oh hell no, because it's ridiculous that, four of the fucking biggest people in the company are hiding in a closet and nobody knows they're there. And on top of it, the Stooges know, everyone in Vince's clique knows that they're hunting for him. They wouldn't fucking, clear the room.
Right.
Clear his office before they hung out in there. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking lame.
I'm selling. It's fucking hell no.
There you go. All right. My oh hell no is one that was just brought up not that long ago. I'm going to continue with my theme of Al Snow and Hardcore Holly oh hell no's. And it's a double oh hell no because you get the shitty Al Snow promo from Raw 312 from May 17th with Pierre's Dare antlers in the box and the tape of Columbo and the glasses, a cigar, the dress with the tire tracks. And I don't care if it's a comedy spot. The spot sucks. This is the whole kind of shit that everybody would make fun of today. So fuck this. I don't like it today. I didn't like it back then. And it's oh hell no. And then especially you add on to it within the next match, you have Hardcore Holly's Holocaust. And then
yeah, that's probably that's up.
And then Jerry Lawler's I couldn't bury my pet cat. I was so sad I couldn't bury my pet cat because it kept moving.
He's burying it live like an
right.
asshole.
So yeah, that's all kind of bullshit right there. So that's all hell no. And then the either further oh hell no is say should have fucking not had the rest of the pay-per-view. Oh hell no. But
yeah,
that's another one. But like I said, we don't want to get too much into that. That's just our little opinion, my little opinion. So let's wrap things up here. Next week, we'll be back with episode 50. Hallmark episode 50. It's going to be The Greater Power. June of 1999. So we're going to get into the next couple of weeks. It's going to be May 31st through June 7th. And that's going to be covering the reveal of the Corporate Ministry's Greater Power. We've been talking about who it is the whole fucking time, so you know who that is. But we're going to see the reveal of it and talk about how that changes things for Austin. And then that'll lead to episode 51, which will be CEO Stone Cold, which is some fucking cool couple of weeks when Austin takes over WWE or WWF. And he's running, he's in the Titan Towers and all that. Having meetings and shit.
This is going to be fun.
That's going to be some great audio and some good shit to talk
Hell
about
yeah.
the next couple of episodes. So that's what's coming up in the next couple of weeks on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. But with our friends of the podcast, we have Talking Taker, and they're covering a pretty cool match coming up here on their episode this week. They drop their episodes on Thursday night or Friday mornings, and it's episode 112, and they're covering SummerSlam 2005, The Undertaker versus Randy Orton. So take a quick listen to Alex Dorio talk about his show, Talking Taker.
Dead man walking.
Oh, hell yeah. What's up, Stone Cold fans? This is Alex Dorio, one of the hosts of Talking Taker. And along with my co-host and fellow creature of the night, Travis White, we are digging up the career of the dead man, one pay-per-view match at a time, on a podcast journey that's a lot like what you're listening to right now on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. So if you're enjoying what Mike and JV are doing here, going through the career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, come check us out as we explore the Undertaker's 3 decades of destruction. We're right in the midst of the Biker Taker era right now, so you can jump right in or start over from the beginning and hear us discuss the Undertaker's side of the story, from his many battles with the Rattlesnake, The Rock, Mankind, and more. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, and more. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Talking Taker. Thanks to Mike and JV for letting us plug the show, and take her easy. What? I said, take her easy.
Okay, also, check out Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast. Great friends of ours with Mike Mills, Hardbody Hopper, and Doc Turner. And they cover episodes of NWA WCW World Championship Wrestling on Saturday nights, starting from the 1985 through 88. And they are currently at June 4th, 1988, which they will drop on Thursday. And on Sundays, they drop the Smoky Mountain Wrestling Recap. And they are at episode 163. 163 episodes. Holy shit. And that is March 11th, 1995. And that comes out again on Sunday. Also, check out our friend Jay Free on Free Your Geek. And upcoming, one of the next coming episodes, JV and I will be special guests as we do a special draft. JV is going to take Raw? You're going to take Raw, right? Or SmackDown? Whatever.
Already, but I think I have.
All right, so
Raw.
The three of us, we're going to draft. We're going to draft the roster for NXT, Raw, SmackDown, and just talk fucking wrestling. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah, that'll be cool on Free Your Geek.
I'm probably going to go off the rails with it too, so I'm really going to be. It's going to be fun because we can each do whatever the fuck we want.
You're gonna
building our own, basically, building our own roster for our
You're
own
gonna
show.
take all the top prospects.
Maybe.
Velveteen Dream's gonna be your number one. That's gonna be your number one.
Yeah.
All right, so that's on Free Your Geek coming up soon, but also go back into their archives and check out their great shows that they have, where they break down all different aspects of pop culture and all things you love about Free and Your Geek and letting it out there. So check that out with Jay Free. It's available on all different podcast apps out there. And again, JV and I also do the Extreme ECW live cast on the Booking the Territory Patreon feed. So Booking the Territory, the unprofessional wrestling podcast, they have a Patreon feed. So go to patreon.com, Booking the Territory, and go to the $5 tier if you want to sample a lot of the good stuff they have out there, and also get more podcasts from JV and I, where we're covering ECW, Eastern Championship Wrestling, all the way back to 1993. We start from April, and currently we just wrapped up August 24th. And this week we'll be doing the end of August, August 31st, and September 7th, which will be out next week. So check those out and support Booking the Territory and help us out. Help spread the word on the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast and Extreme ECW Livecast. So thanks guys for listening. I'm Mike Prue. I'm at MPRU83.
What?
JV is at John Van Damage. We're at the Bottom Line Cast on Twitter. So please follow us there if you have anything to say. Put it out there. We're also on Facebook, same handles. And consider leaving a 5-star review on iTunes and leaving a comment. Thanks guys for listening.
Yes.
Yes, please. We need comments. We like the comments. We've gotten some good comments from fuck's his name? Oh, we got a friend from Australia.
Our friend from Australia. Yeah.
Pretty sure his name's Dan. But anyway,
you probably should have wrote that.
I know. I had it out here. I had it on my phone. No, it's James.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
it's James.
Dan.
Not Dan. Sorry, Dan.
Way off. James. His name's James. Call him Dan again.
Thanks, James Warren, for reaching out to us. He sent us a hell of a write-up. And
yes.
Thanks for listening. And thanks,
very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. And thanks for enjoying the show. And keep putting it out there. Help us out. Spread the word to your friends out there in the Down Under. And anybody else, feel free. Reach out. I'm Mike Prue, along with JV. We'll be back next week with episode 50, talking about the greater power. So long.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the sold-out Keel Center here in St. Louis. As you can see, WWF superstars, scores of superstars lining up to pay tribute to the life and the times of the late Owen Hart, who died last night in a tragic accident at Over the Edge in Kansas City.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to please rise and join the WWF superstars as we toll the bell 10 times and pay our respects to Owen Hart. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to the Titantron as we play a video tribute to Owen Hart.
Last night, a tragic accident took the life of Owen Hart. He was 34. There are no words that can express the profound sorrow felt today by so many of us who knew and loved this very special human being. Fans throughout the world shared a small portion of Owen's life through his various ring personas, but to know Owen Hart, the human being, was pure joy. Owen loved this business and loved to entertain both in it and out of the ring. He was a consummate performer and a legendary prankster. In the extended family of professional wrestlers, respect does not come easily and is not taken lightly. Owen Hart had that respect. He was more than just one of the boys. Owen Hart was a friend and a brother to all. Our locker room and our lives will never ever be the same again. A loving son, brother, uncle, husband, and father. Owen is survived by his wife Martha, his son Oj, and daughter Athena. Our prayers go out to them and the entire Hart family. With heavy hearts and the deepest of sympathies for his family, we say goodbye. If the legacy of a man's life is measured by the lives he's touched and how much he is loved, then a big piece of Owen Hart will live on in all of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler here at ringside. We thank you very much for being with us.